to me, there's those three pieces, right? It's an interplay between your mental or psychological abilities to be under the lights and be able to perform. It's your level of fitness and then how efficient you are at expressing those things. And I think that's really what we're trying to do when we're getting closer to a game day scenario. So here we are, a couple weeks out from the open. What can you do, right? Well, you can work on the psychological side, right? To me, there's a couple of different ways to do that, but the best thing you can do is game day rehearsal. And that to me means recreating the competition environment, with this being the open, as close as possible. So film your workouts, have a plan going in, write down your sets and reps and your braking structures. Have a judge, have someone who's actually going to no rep you when you have a legitimate no rep. That way, when you show up on game day and you get that no rep, you know how to psychologically deal with it much better. And going through this dress rehearsal will also help you prevent getting those no reps on game day, because if you normally train in an environment where no one's telling you that you're not going to depth on your wall ball, and all of a sudden you have a judge and you're in the open and they're like, no rep, no rep, no rep, you don't want that. You don't want the open or your competition to be the first time that you're squatting to depth as a result of that. So I think the first thing that people can do, and Matt has clearly done a great job of this, is in his training, in competition prep, recreate that competition environment as close as possible. And I think it's most easy to do in a qualifier scenario. What does it require? A little bit of planning, a workout that was unknown until a day or two before, right? You could use the training think tank throwdowns that we release on Thursdays and plan on doing it on Saturday. Write down, download our competition manual, which gives you a template for planning out your workout. Plan out your nutrition, your warm-up, exactly like you want to do on game day, and then walk yourself through it. The more you practice doing that, dealing with an unknown event, planning for an unknown event, being in an environment with a judge, the better you're going to be able to handle it on game day. So to me, that's probably the most important thing that you can do, right? Is train in an environment that recreates competition day. So that would be number one. Number two, I think would be to work on movement economy. If what you've done at this point is really hammer your training, right? So you developed your energy systems, you built your VO2 max, you raised your lactate threshold, your 1RMs are all up, you've improved your CP battery scores, every metric, your max rep muscle up, your max rep strict handstand push-up are all better. The only thing that you have time left to do at this point is to make those things a little bit more efficient. So how would I go about doing that? I would watch elite athletes that have similar body proportions to me. If I'm 6'2", I'm going to watch Brent Fikowski. So take those things and watch their videos, and then get an empty barbell out and try to recreate what they're doing, and get as close to reverse engineering elite mechanics as you possibly can, because those little things, those little changes in your movement economy are going to go a really long way in improving how much of that fitness, that VO2 max, lactate threshold, strength, CP battery, muscular endurance, all those things, it'll improve how much of that you can actually use in a competition environment, right? So that would be layer two. I would call that deep practice. Monkey see, monkey do, right? And then the third piece is to develop your mental toolkit. And to me, the things that I have found to be effective would be meditation is probably the most effective out of all of the things that I have played around with. And I think there's two kinds of meditation that I think would be most effective. The first would be focused attention. And I've talked about this. I've posted on my Instagram. I've talked about it on the Corpus Animus podcast. But the best test is just try to sit quietly for 10 minutes and count your breath, right? In is 1, out is 2. And anytime your mind wanders away from that simple breath count, start back over at 1. And your goal is just to get to 10, say 3 times in 10 minutes. And the average person, most of the CrossFitters that I work with, myself, pretty much everybody I've ever talked to, if they haven't practiced some form of mindfulness meditation, there is no chance that they can make it to 10 without getting distracted by any thoughts or anything else other than the breath in that 10 minutes. Now, how does this relate back to your fitness, right? Well, we're talking about let's just say you have a 10-minute AMRAP, right? And that 10-minute AMRAP is thrusters and chest to bar, 2 movements that require quite a bit of attention. And you need to be able to move that attention around. At some point, you need to be focusing on how you're moving the thruster. Then you need to be monitoring your body. What does your heart rate feel like? What does your breathing feel like? What do your legs feel like? Am I going a little bit too fast? Is this pace in the right spot? Right? So then you have this like that's focused attention. And what I want to try and get people to do is spend time outside of their training. It's free. Just counting your breaths, learning to focus your attention in one place. And then the second piece is trying to take that focused attention that you've developed at rest in a quiet environment and start to take it into a more chaotic environment. Sit on the assault bike, hold 200 watts. Now start counting your breaths, right? Spend 2 minutes counting your breaths. Then spend 2 minutes focusing only on your wattage, nothing else. Hold that 200 watts. Then spend 2 minutes focusing only on the sensations in your body. How do your legs feel holding 200 watts? How does your breathing feel holding 200 watts? Don't count your breaths. How does it feel? And rotate your attention back through those different things. So what you're doing is you're learning to control where you're putting your focus at any given moment. And I can guarantee you that the best athletes in this sport are spending time learning to put their attention where it matters.